At the center of Uttah village, in the heart of Ashanti Kingdom, the grand palace of King Kwaku stands, home to his beloved daughter, Princess Udo. Renowned for her beauty, grace, and intelligence, Princess Udo's life takes a dramatic turn when jealousy and dark magic threaten her happiness and safety. Join us as we uncover a tale of loyalty, betrayal, and relentless pursuit of justice, where the bonds of friendship are tested and true courage shines. Welcome to the captivating story of Princess Udo, Uju, and their fight against the sorcerer Uduma. In the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom, a land of rolling hills, verdant forests, and golden savannas, lay the prosperous village of Uttah. The people of Uttah were known for their rich traditions, vibrant festivals, and the wisdom of their elders. At the center of this village stood the grand palace of King Kwaku, a ruler who loved and feared, who protected his people with a just and steady hand. The King Kwaku's pride and joy was his daughter, Princess Udo. Renowned for her beauty, grace, and intelligence, Princess Udo was adored by the villagers and cherished by her father. She had many suitors, but none had yet captured her heart. Within the palace walls lived two handmaids who served the princess, Uju, her loyal and trusted companion, and Ngozi, who harbored a deep jealousy towards Uju. Ngozi's envy festered with each passing day, leading her to devise a plan that would change the course of their lives forever. Uju had been by Princess Udo's side since childhood. Her loyalty and dedication was unmatched, and she was more than a handmaid. She was a friend and confidant. Ngozi, on the other hand, had joined the palace service only a few years earlier. Her beauty and charm had quickly won her favor among the palace staff, but her heart was filled with bitterness towards Uju. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the palace, Ngozi watched from the shadows as Uju and Princess Udo laughed and shared stories from their day. Ngozi's jealousy burned like a fire within her. She longed to be in Uju's place, to be the one closest to the princess, and she was willing to do whatever it took to achieve her goal. As Princess Udo approached marriageable age, suitors from far and wide came to court her. Noblemen and prince, warriors and scholars all sought her hand, each hoping to win her favor. However, none of them captured her heart. The princess was searching for something more than wealth or power. She desired a partner who would understand her soul and cherish her for who she truly was. The palace became a whirlwind of festivities and ceremonies as each suitors tried to outdo the other, presenting gifts and demonstrating their abilities. Yet, despite the grand display, Princess Udo remained unmoved. Ngozi's mind worked tirelessly, formulating a plan to rid herself of Uju. She knew she needed to act carefully, for the king was a wise man. She began to spread many rumors among the palace staff, insinuating that Uju had been stealing from the royal treasury. Her whispers reached the ears of the palace guards, and soon suspicion began to fall upon Uju. One night, under the cover of darkness, Ngozi planted a piece of stolen jewelry in Uju's quarters. The next morning, a search was conducted, and the evidence was found. King Kwaku was disappointed. Though he had always trusted Uju, the evidence was undeniable. He ordered her imprisonment, much to the horror of Princess Udo, who pleaded with her father to reconsider, but the king's decision was final. Ngozi's plans had worked perfectly. With Uju out of the way, she was appointed as the princess' new handmaid. But her victory was hollow, for she had not anticipated the depth of the bond between the princess and her former handmaid. Princess Udo was devastated by Uju's imprisonment. She knew in her heart that Uju could not commit such a crime. She spent her days in sorrow, her heart heavy with grief and confusion. Despite Ngozi's efforts to win her favor, the princess remained distant and cold. One day, as Princess Udo strode through the palace gardens, she encountered a stranger. He was a tall, handsome man with an air of mystery about him. "Who are you?" Udo asked. "I am Uduma," the stranger replied. "I come from distant shores seeking a companion." Udo's heart fluttered. Could this be fate? She told Uduma of Uju's imprisonment and her own unyielding desire for something more. Uduma listened, his gaze unwavering. He spoke with a voice that was both soothing and compelling. He listened intently to the princess, offering her comfort and understanding like no other had. Uduma's presence brought a strange sense of peace to Udo. Over time, she found herself drawn to him, and when he proposed marriage, she accepted. The king, though wary of this stranger, saw the light return to his daughter's eyes and gave his blessing. Princess Udo and Uduma were married in a grand ceremony, and Udo left the palace with her new husband, taking Ngozi with her as her handmaid. The villagers celebrated the union. Uduma led Princess Udo and Ngozi to distant land, far from familiar comforts of Uttah. The land was beautiful but strange, with customs and traditions unlike those of of her homeland. Despite the initial excitement of her new life, Udo began to feel isolated and uneasy about her surroundings. As Princess Udo settled into her new home, she began to face a series of challenges that tested her resilience and wisdom. The first challenge was adapting to the cultural differences of this new land. The customs, language, and daily practices were foreign to her. Simple tasks became daunting, and she often felt out of place. The people of the land were kind but distant, their customs mysterious and sometimes intimidating. To overcome this, Princess Udo decided to immerse herself in learning. She spent hours each day with local women learning their language, customs, and traditions. Her genuine interest and willingness to adapt slowly won the hearts of the people. She began to build bridges of understanding and friendship, easing her sense of isolation. In no distant time, she made 3 loyal friends: Nanaya, the wise elder of the village; Kofi, a skilled warrior and hunter; and Ama, the village healer. Despite her efforts to integrate, there were those who looked at her with suspicion. Whispers of distrust followed her, caused by her foreign origins and the mysterious nature of her husband, Uduma. Some even believed that she brought misfortune to their land. Udo tackled this challenge by demonstrating her goodwill and integrity. She participated in community activities, helped in local projects, and showed kindness to everyone she met. Her actions spoke louder than words, gradually clearing their doubts and suspicions. One fateful night, as Udo was in her room about to sleep, she overheard a conversation between Uduma and Ngozi. To her surprise, she discovered that Uduma was not a nobleman as he had claimed, but a sorcerer who had trapped her with his magic. His true intention was to use her royal blood in a dark ritual to gain immense power. She also discovered that Ngozi was the one that set up Uju and manipulated events to become the princess's handmaid. Udo was devastated by the betrayal, but knew she needed to act wisely. Udo decided not to punish Ngozi immediately. Instead, she kept her close, hoping to understand the full extent of her schemes. She also began to work on a plan to contact her father and reveal the truth. The revelations shocked Udo, but she knew she had to act calmly and wisely so as to stay alive. She waited for the right moment and then confronted Uduma, and she got to realize that she was not safe, even in the hands of her husband. Uduma, realizing that Udo now knows his plans, kept an eye on her. Udo devised a plan to escape and save herself from Uduma's dark intentions. She secretly gathered her friends from the village who had come to trust and respect her. Together, they created a diversion that allowed Udo to slip away from Uduma's watchful eyes. Among her friends was Nanaya, the wise elder of the village. Nanaya had seen many things in her long life and possessed deep knowledge of the land and its ancient traditions. She provided Udo with insights into Uduma's sorcery and helped identify his weaknesses. Nanaya advised Udo to seek out a sacred herb known to weaken magical powers. This herb, found only in the depths of the forest, would be a key element in their plan. Kofi, a skilled warrior and hunter, also pledged his loyalty to Udo. He had witnessed Uduma's cruelty and deceit and was eager to help bring him down. Kofi's bravery and combat skills were essential in training the villagers to defend themselves and prepare for the impending battle. Kofi led a small group into the forest to retrieve the sacred herb, facing numerous dangers along the way. His determination and strength inspired others to join. Ama, the village healer, played a crucial role in the preparations. She used her knowledge of herbs and medicine to create antidotes and protective charms for the villagers. Ama's healing abilities ensured that they were ready to face Uduma's dark magic. Ama also provided emotional support to Udo, helping her stay strong and focused during the challenging times. Udo also managed to send a message back to her father through a trusted messenger, revealing the truth about Uju's innocence and danger she faced. Back in Uttah, King Kwaku received Udo's message with a mixture of relief and sorrow. He immediately ordered Uju's release and summoned her to the palace. Uju, though weakened by her imprisonment, was determined to save her beloved princess. Uju devised a plan to rescue Udo. Using her knowledge of the palace and her clever mind, she gathered a small group of loyal warriors and set out on the dangerous journey to the distant land. Uju and her group arrived in the strange land just in time. They found Udo and her friends preparing for a final confrontation with Uduma to end his evil deeds and intentions. They formed an army and faced the sorcerer in a very strong battle. Uju's clever strategies and the bravery of Udo's new friends turned the tide in their favor. With the sacred herb in their possession and their allies prepared, Udo and Uju devised a detailed battle plan. They knew they needed to strike swiftly and decisively to catch catch Uduma off guard. The plan began with a diversion. Kofi and a group of warriors would create chaos in the village, drawing Uduma's attention away from Udo and her allies. This diversion would give them the opportunity to break into Uduma's chambers. Using the knowledge gained from Nanaya and Ama, Udo and Uju led a small group into Uduma's chamber. They moved swiftly and silently, avoiding detection. The sacred herb was used to weaken the magical barriers protecting the entrance. Once inside, they went through the confusing corridors in the chambers. Guided by Udo's keen intuition and Uju's clever strategies, the group entered numerous traps and challenges, but their determination and unity kept them going. The group finally reached Uduma's inner chambers. The sorcerer immediately realized there was a break-in and summoned his dark magic to defend himself. The room crackled with energy and a fierce battle started. Uduma unleashed his full power, using illusions and dark spells to confuse and weaken his opponents. Udo, Uju, and their armies fought bravely, using their skills and the sacred herb to counter his attacks. Nanaya's wisdom guided them, and Ama's protective charms shielded them from the worst of Uduma's magic. Kofi's combat power kept Uduma's armies busy outside, allowing Udo and Uju to focus on the sorcerer. With a combination of the sacred herb and a powerful strike, Udo and Uju managed to break Uduma's magical hold. The sorcerer, realizing his defeat, tried to escape, but Kofi had already conquered his armies and was waiting in front of the chambers, making it impossible for Uduma to escape. With Uduma defeated, his dark magic destroyed, freeing the land from his oppressive control. The villagers, once fearful and suspicious, now celebrated their liberation. Udo's bravery and leadership had motivated them to stand up against oppression. Uju and Udo embraced, their bond stronger than ever. They went back to her father's land, safe and unharmed. The king was so happy that he made Uju a member of the council. The villagers hailed them as heroes, grateful for their courage and wisdom. The news of Uduma's defeat was all over the place. The moral of Princess Ada's story is clear. No matter the challenges we face, loyalty, friendship, and integrity will guide us through darkness into the light. By standing firm in our principles and supporting one another, we can overcome any obstacle, forging a path of courage and hope for generations to come.